Hello, lovely humans. My name is Sybil, and I'm coming at you from North Dakota in the United States. I teach here at the North Dakota State College of Science. It's a community college, and I teach humanities courses and English courses. And the topic that we've been kind of tasked with is speaking to online facilitation and making it more equitable. And I would like to just start with a story. I can't remember if it was at the beginning of the pandemic or at some point in the last couple of years. I entered a webinar through Zoom, I believe it was. I can't remember who was putting on the webinar or anything like that, so I apologize for not being able to cite my source. But the webinar facilitator, she was actually at a convention center, I believe, and they were in a room. And so she had in-person participants and then those of us online. And what just struck me, and it still stays with me, is that she had so many different ways that we could participate. And so I've been to a lot of webinars. I've communicated in the open ed community, and so therefore have been in a lot of those situations where you're listening to online things, information, and they want you to chime in vocally and that sort of thing. I've also listened in on a lot of folks through webinars in the ungrading community via Twitter or whatever else. And so I feel like I've been through a lot of different webinars, and for this one, it just stuck with me. And here's what she did: was she gave those in person, she gave them options. If they didn't feel like talking to somebody at their table, they could just journal if they had like their computer with them or pen and paper or whatever. If they felt like talking to a person, they could turn to the person next to them, to their neighbor, and discuss the question that she had. And then I think she might have even had a third option for those in person. And then for those of us online, she had like a separate room we could go into to speak to each other orally, verbally, or she also gave us the same options, like just to write to ourselves, to reflect on paper, pen, or our own computers. And then some people even went into the chat and started to reflect on her question. So I sat there thinking, this is wonderful. There's so many ways that people can think about this question and learn the material. And that leads me into like my second half of, I guess, my little video here, is that just going to that one webinar and seeing her. I can't even remember what the topic was. It might have been OER. It might have been on grading. I'm so sorry. I can't tell you. It was truly how she did it. That just, again. So how do I connect this to my teaching? Well, now I've started to think about how I teach face-to-face courses and fully online courses, but I'm starting to love the high flex model. And I know that high flex word has a lot of definitions attached to it. For me, it means students can kind of have a high flexibility of options to them for attendance or for participation. And so if they want to sign up for my face-to-face class, they can also go online and do stuff as well. If they get sick, they just can't make it to class. I like to think of all the different ways that might prevent them from attending class, daycare, all of those things. And so why not make learning still available to them online in some capacity? So all of my online courses, or all of my courses, look like they could be online, but we have like the face-to-face component in there as well. So that one webinar was the catalyst for me just loving so many different ways. And through MyFest, we've done it too, where we have asynchronous pathways where people are keeping blogs and journaling that way and sharing their blog entries and that sort of thing. So it's really sad that it took me so many years to watch one webinar or to participate in one webinar and have it just occur to me that learning for us as teachers and for our students and for any educator or anybody out there, if it can happen in many different ways and we can make that available, that's key. Then you're helping out anybody who has any sort of issues, like even me, who I know nobody thinks I'm actually an introvert, but I sometimes don't want to talk to people. I really would rather sit with my thoughts and journal. And so those are my, I don't know if this helps anybody, but those are my thoughts for this little thing.